Today we are doing a video as per a subscriber's request to make comfort foods to make this time of year when home for holidays or break. So we will be doing that today. Of course, we'll be using Bisquick. I love making things with Bisquick. Has all great stuff in there. Families from the South, so we use Bisquick. Also going to be using a new little cast iron pan that I bought at Cracker Barrel on my latest trip for my second PBA tournament. Of course, got to have the Yellowstone brand, which is awesome. But this is a Lodge cast iron pan. It's a 5-inch in diameter, so it is really small, but it looks awesome because naturally, Lodge cast iron is great, but also has a Yellowstone brand, which I thought would be really cool for making pancakes. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Just getting the pan heated up, getting some oil in there, and I'm not pre-seasoning this other than the oil, getting it all on the sides and all, because it is a pre-seasoned pan. But I do take very good care of my cast iron because I want it to last a long time, don't need it rusting on me or for the seasoning to come off. So I always put oil on before and after. So we have 2 cups of our Bisquick going in. Then we are going to add 2 eggs. And then last but not least, we'll be adding our 1 cup of milk. There will be other additives later to try different things for the holidays. But of course, pancakes good all year long. Both things getting a little bit cooler here in Los Angeles. Got to have things nice and warm like warm pancakes. Got my Yellowstone mug that my best friend gave me. Had to have my dark roast coffee in there. We got all of our mix nice and mixed up. It's a little on the thick side. Kind of did that on purpose because we're going to be adding some things in a little bit. So we're going to give this a try. I always like experimenting on things. Making different mixtures thicker, thinner, adding different things, taking out things. See what we can do, cooking different things there. So a little bit on the thick side, made it a little bit harder for pouring, but it did work. I think that looks really cool, the Yellowstone brand on there. I had no idea how well it was going to work. I assume since Lodge was actually making it, selling it, that it would work pretty darn good. And y'all will see the results in a bit. So getting it nice and covered in the pan. Of course, making a mess. It is a little bit thicker, so it hangs on a little bit longer. But that's part of cooking. If you ain't making a mess, you ain't doing it right. So there was a couple of spots that didn't quite get the coverage I wanted to, so I added a little bit more. Starting to get the bubbles. Probably had a little bit too hot throughout the entire video for such a small pan. I just don't have a burner that small, and I wasn't doing it over the fire today. I do cook over the fire, but getting it flipped over, it came off the brand quite easily, and that just looks awesome. Let me know what y'all think of that. I think it looks pretty darn cool. So we got our Yellowstone brand mug and our Yellowstone brand pancake. That just looks really cool. So I'm going to flip it over. It cooked a little bit too long on the first side, so it didn't quite get the brand in on the second side, but that's fine. We're only going to be looking at one side. So now, for this time of year in the holiday season, we're going to add a little bit of cinnamon in there. Because it's fall, we think pumpkins, you add cinnamon to a bunch of things, even for Christmas time. So we're going to add our cinnamon, get all mixed up. I'll even add cinnamon to coffee because it has its antioxidant natures in it. Other good stuff, I'll do that sometimes. Tastes good and it's good for you. So got it all nice mixed up. Get ready for pouring. And I will add that I do put Country Crock in sometimes before the pour. Just like that. So again, a little bit too hot for that size, but we'll be adding our cinnamon mix in now. Did a few of these because you can't just have one cinnamon pancake. You gotta have a few of them. There we go. So got a little bit better coverage on that one. Getting a little bit too warm running, so bubbles started happening quite fast. Also, I didn't have anywhere to really run, as if it were a bigger pan. So the pancakes were quite thick when biting into them. So, lesson learned, either make them thinner as in mixture wise, maybe add a little bit of water to them, or have it not as hot so then it has time to spread out and I won't pour as much in. It took a little while to get used to getting the pancake off the side, but as long as I made sure it cooked fairly well the first side down, it came off quite easily. I was quite shocked. I didn't think it would get off the Y there too easily, but look at that. That looks awesome. I think that looks pretty darn cool. Of course, my best friend got me hooked on Yellowstone, so now I have a bunch of different Yellowstone things, from things she bought me to now things I started buying. It's a disease. It's an addiction. But that looks pretty darn cool. So we have the awesomeness of the looks of it, and then of course we got cinnamon in it for this time of year. Haven't done cinnamon pancakes in the longest time, so it was great to have this request because I've missed doing this, and I got to try out this new skillet. This one turned out a little bit better, but still harder to see. Now we're gonna add chocolate chips. Who don't want chocolate chips in their pancakes? Normally for me, I'm just a straight up buttermilk pancake guy, but shoot, why not? We're doing things for the holidays. Let's add some chocolate in there. Got Halloween coming up. Had to add some more. It's either this one or the next one. I added way too many chocolate chips, and it's an interesting result. So we got our Country Crock in there so that our critters don't stick. I believe it's this one that might be a little bit too much on the chocolate chips, but hey, it's chocolate chips. Is there any such thing as too many? Let me know in the comments. So this one, it stuck even less on the sides, which was great. Not that any of the ones before stuck hardly at all, unless I was trying to get off the sides a little bit too soon. But the Country Crock, it does help anytime I'm making omelets, cooking anything in cast iron. I love adding the Country Crock in there, a little extra oil. So we're trying to get our chocolate chip pancake off. A lot of chocolate chips in there. Yeah, so this was the one that had too many chocolate chips in it, I believe. And it kind of fell apart. But that's fine. It might even be the next one that had even more chocolate chips. It was just harder to move around because all that extra substance in there. So it didn't quite turn out to be as firm as I thought it would be. Okay, no, this is the one with the 1,000 chocolate chips in it, seemed. But had to try it. A little hard to get out. Again, I like experimenting on things in the kitchen. I do love to cook. So if I'm making stuff for a week's worth for work, I'll make different kinds of omelets. I'll try different things. Normally I try different things before I make them for work. Yeah, this one didn't turn out so well. If any of y'all are wondering, it did taste wonderful. It didn't cook all the way through. I just didn't want to burn all the chocolate on my new pan. So the inside wasn't cooked all the way, which is perfectly fine because it was super sweet. So we have our other pancake being made, and this one, instead of putting cinnamon on the inside, I put it on the outside. Just trying something new. I like trying different things. It's what you do in the holiday season. And unfortunately, eggnog is not yet out in stores around me. I do love my Southern Comfort eggnog. The mix they have, that was a poor flip. The mix that Southern Comfort has is amazing. I drink the non-alcoholic version. I've had it with Southern Comfort in it, but just the non-alcoholic by itself is wonderful. I'm not too much of a drinker. I really don't drink much at all. That one turned out amazing. And I did make a decent amount of pancakes. It would have made more if it was able to spread out some more. They didn't rise too much because they were quite thick at the end. All in all, it was a great trial. There was no too much air in it. Adding some more cinnamon. I didn't overload the cinnamon because I didn't want it to be too much, but it definitely got a very good, nice strong hint of cinnamon in there. So it wasn't just a slight dash to where it wasn't even tasted. It was definitely tasted in the pancakes. And as the time went on, the brand stayed nice and clean. I kept my country crock going on there. I didn't have to keep cleaning it, which is what I love about cast iron. And Lodge does a great job with all the pans I have from Lodge. The ones I've bought, the ones that have been given to me, they work amazing. And the seasoning, the pre-seasoning, holds up very well. Still amazed at how crisp those lines are. And again, putting country crock in, normally I do it about every pancake. Especially as time goes on, I put it in every time. I did make sure to put it on each side of the bran, so that way I got on all the corners and all. Just for good coverage so it didn't stick. When I buy quality stuff, I want to make sure I take care of it. I don't want to just leave it to the quality it was bought at. I always want to take care of it. Sort of like saw blades, keep them sharpened, so I've just tossed them once they've been used a little bit. Same thing with any of the tools that you all see on this channel. I take care of them. Same with my boots, keep them oiled. I don't just let the factory oil be enough. I keep taking care of them. So I do the same thing with my cast iron. And there is our chocolate chip overload pancake. That didn't quite turn out to be a pancake, but it turned out to be absolutely delicious. It was very good. Again, very gooey on the inside because it didn't cook all the way through, which was perfectly fine by me. And here we go. Much better flip than some of the other times. Still a little sloppy, but it turns out great. That just looks so cool, in my opinion. Still had a little hard time figuring out once in a while how to get it out of such a small pan. I might need a smaller spatula. And on the second side for cooking, the bran didn't turn out as well, but on this one it did turn out nicely. And nice crisp lines. I'm still somewhat surprised, but at the same time, I do expect good quality from Lodge. So I was very happy with the purchase. And good brands all the way around. Cracker Barrel, Lodge, Yellowstone. Perfect trifecta. So I was making as much as what was supposed to make 14 regular sized pancakes, according to the Bisquick tin that I have from a long time ago. I don't know if it's from the 50s or something. I take all my Bisquick that I buy from the store and I keep it in the bag, but I put it in the antique tin because it looks awesome. Same thing with what I do with Morton salt. I take the container of salt and put it in the old Morton salt container. Nice clean lines. Tastes great, looks great, smelling great. Can't get much better than that. Of course, sipping on coffee throughout this. I think I had several cups of coffee while I was doing this. Love my coffee. So they are quite thick. In taking care of the cast iron, put in some oil. While I turned off the heat, it's still very hot. Moving it around. And just going to let that sit in there for a good bit. And I keep swishing it around, let it get on the sides. and then I'd let sit, and I'd do it again in another minute. Just making sure the cast iron's taken care of. I don't want to buy stuff and then have it fall apart on me with the seasoning or rust through. And this is avocado oil. Just a hint for any of y'all that are taking notes, it is avocado oil. So we got great brands: Yellowstone, Bisquick, Country Crock. Here's some pretty signs best friend gave me. Sure are pretties. We're going to add a little extra cinnamon on top. It's kind of hard to see the cinnamon with this view, but I could definitely see it when I was doing it. More Country Crock on top. With foaming oil, it did get a little bit cold, so that's why the Country Crock isn't quite melting on there. Cracker Barrel syrup. Had to pick up some syrup while I was there. So we're going to drizzle our Cracker Barrel syrup on our Yellowstone pancakes with our brand. And just let it grab all that cinnamon. Let it soak in. And soon it'll be time to dig in. So if y'all enjoyed this video, go ahead and like, share, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. You want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments. I read all the comments and look forward to reading what y'all's thoughts are. See y'all in the next one.